Alright, and what the heck is going on, Misfits? I am very excited today because something happened that I never thought would happen in like the past few years of Bleeding Edge not being able to get an update. Someone actually wrote an article about Bleeding Edge. Well, not about Bleeding Edge, but someone made an article in the year of 2022 about Bleeding Edge. And that just completely blows my mind. So, to recap a little bit, I was literally just about to go to sleep. And I'm just on my phone scrolling around before you fall asleep the way you usually do sometimes. And then I noticed that there was an article about Bleeding Edge that showed this thumbnail here. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I'm pretty sure that I felt that it was an old article, maybe like 2 years ago. But then I checked the date. And it was literally just a few days ago, not too long ago at all. And surprisingly, even further than that, they're talking about something. They're not talking about the failures of Bleeding Edge. They're talking about 10 Bleeding Edge builds everyone should try. The way that this person's titling this article is saying that, one, you should try this game. And it's like, this person must play Bleeding Edge, dude. This person must play Bleeding. Why would someone... Don't get me wrong, I love this game, but I'll be honest. I would not make an article about this game in its present state right now, given the circumstances. But the fact that someone did, this person must play Bleeding Edge in some way, in a small way, in some way. So with that being said, we're going to go through this article and we're going to see just how true this is, because I'm pretty sure that some of this might be a little, some of you guys out there might be able to debunk whether these classes are actually pretty good or not. But regardless, this is coming from Game Live Story, again, a place that I don't actually get gaming news from. But again, this is coming from Game Live Story, and I'm not sure who wrote the article, if I can get the person's name. No, there's no name. Alright, well, I mean, look, regardless, Game Live Story, thank you guys, because I'm really super surprised that someone made an article about it. And at least over 1,000 people have watched this article. So that should say something as well. Anyway, as this P tag is open by itself for some reason. Ninja Theory's multiplayer arena game Bleeding Edge uses augmentations. Arena gameplay and teamwork are the core of its gameplay. Arena gameplay and teamwork are the core of its gameplay. With multiple different options for mods to create new builds to suit your playstyle, Bleeding Edge, amazing character visual design, and addicting gameplay to back it all up, with a current character roster of 13 characters to choose from, 3 different roles. Remember, we didn't have 13 characters? That's what's crazy. No matter if you like to play as tanks, healers, or damage dealers, mods let you change up your strengths to combat enemy compositions. We picked a few builds that you should try on your next time you dive into the new ever-growing multiplayer that's backed by Microsoft. Hold up, bro. He wrote this in 2020. He wrote this a few days ago. I don't know if this person knows. Either that or there's something that I don't know where Microsoft is actually going to put Bleeding Edge back on the freaking front of the burner. But I highly doubt that, because Ninja Theory would have had to come out and say something themselves, you know? But regardless, number 1 is Mecco sustain build. And by the way, I noticed that this guy, he doesn't have the right image for everything. He accidentally put his images wrong, but still. Number 1 is the Mecco sustain build. Mecco is one of few tanks in the roster that has a significant influence on defense and great tools to save teammates. While they are on the weaker side of the tank roster, these mods help his overall sustain. Taking the mod Brimming allows Mecco's safety zone's lifesteal to heal for a portion of the damage done. Combining Shipwrecker with Brimming allows Mecco to make up for the lack of self-sustained damage. Lastly, taking Sealed Leak mod reduces his bubble shield drain rate. These mods help strengthen Mecco's weaker points and allow him to stay in fights longer to utilize his utility more often. I'm not sure about the choice of word in an article sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, like I said, he has Mecco here, but for some reason it says Damon, just to clarify that. Damon burst build. A lot of you guys play Damon out there, so let me know what you think about this. The poster boy for Bleeding Edge sees a lot of play in the current meta. One of the reasons is his high amount of burst he can drop from stealth. Whenever Damon leaves stealth, he gains bonus damage for 2 seconds, giving him a damage burst for opening in fights. Taking mods like Trickin', which further increases the damage bonus, and Wildin' Out for more shift strike damage, as well as the third mod. The third mod isn't a requirement, but most players go for a stealth mod like Ghostin' or Slickin' to enhance the stealth engagements. Okay, I get that. That's it. Let's be honest, that's what I would probably have on my Damon. Trickin' for damage bonus and Wildin' Out for shift strike damage if you're good at landing shift strike. But if you notice your shift strike is kind of shitty, you know, maybe you could try to switch into a different mod. Regardless, number 8 is Mabe, improved range build. Mabe stands out from the rest of the crowd and has the potential to snowball more than any other DPS when the right moment hits. That is true, I'll give him that. However, if you don't have a strong synergy with your team, this build helps round out her distancing power. Mabe's burst comes from her abilities, but grabbing magnifier makes her basic attack range much larger to poke safer when she has cooldowns. Siphon Life is her primary damage tool, and mods like Arm's Reach improve its range while amplified. I wish this person would have put quotes around the name of the mod. While amplified improves its damage. Combining this with her passive, which resets her cooldowns on a killing blow, she can be a serious threat when the stars align. Next we have Albustado, super tank build. Albustado is one of the most durable tanks in the current meta, with a strong AoE and a single target damage as well as good survivability in teamfight. This build focuses on allowing him to maintain his shields last longer. Additionally, shields also prevent the user from being interrupted during certain attacks. Mods like Extra Capacity increases the max shield cap, and Quick Charge increases the amount of shield generated from attacks. The last mod has a little bit more flexibility. We recommend Pain Suppressor, which lets you gain damage resistance for every enemy you hit within power. This combination of mods allows Albustado to jump into the enemy backline and be a severe tanky threat to your opponents. Alright. Number 6 is Gizmo. They call it the Shredder build. Gizmo has the most powerful basic attacks in the game. Due to her ability to shoot more the longer she remains continuously firing, Daka increases her basic attack damage, while Barrel Roll sets her basic attacks to max fire rate after dashing. Sadly, most of her mods don't hold as much power, but we still suggest the mod Stinger, which increases her sucker grenade damage. Both Daka and Stinger are baseline mods, so you only need to craft one mod to have a full build. Using this build lets her easily shred down enemies one by one, so long as she is left alone to cause havoc. And any Gizmo players out there could probably maybe vouch for that. I know this. Gizmo is just such a crazy character because if you... How can I say this? If you're just starting on playing Bleeding Edge, you're probably gonna get wiped playing as Gizmo because she takes some very serious understanding of her maneuverability. Like, she really does. Like, dropping a bouncer for your team is one thing, but like, I've seen people like actively parry their way to in a 3v1 and just completely survive the entire ordeal. Like, anyway, Zero Cool overheal build. Zero Cool remains one of the best solo healers and single target healers in the current game. While his strengths are many his weaknesses and his inability to escape a fight or fight back. Quad core, I don't know man. Like I said with this game, it's like that in the beginning, but if you really know your character, Zero is a pain in the ass. Like, he just keeps shooting at you, and then he puts up a wall, and then he keeps shooting at you. He could be a real pain in the ass, dude. Quad core increases his recharge healing, and extension cable increases his range. Both healing mods come baseline and are also his strongest mods. To strengthen his overall survivability, we suggest taking Scheduled Task, which reduces the cooldown on his self-heal, and using Overclock is also an excellent choice to increase his stamina regain rate. Hopefully you will have a team that knows how to peel enemies off you just in case. That is true though. But like I said, if you're a good zero, you don't need your teammates to pick them off of you. Like, if you're a good zero player and you know the map well, you can really annoy some people. Kulab AoE heal build. I will put my 2 cents into this one. Where Zero Cool is the most reliable single target healer, Kulab takes the #1 spot for the best AoE healer. Area of effect healer. His Sacred Ground is often not dealt with in multiplayer, so let's abuse its long-lasting power. Medicament increases Sacred Ground's healing, and Prolonged Ward increases its duration. If you want to be a full heal build, we suggest Arousing to increase his passive healing. If you're going to help kill tanky targets, then take Humbug to buff your curse further. Or to defend better, take Omen Vigor for a more durable shield. Okay, as someone who does play the Clav, Humbug to buff your curses, as well as better, no, what is it? Take Omen for Vigor. Yeah. Those 2 mods, I will admit, are really, really good. Here's my thing with Kulab though. Ever since I've played this guy, don't get me wrong, he's a healer, but anytime I have a specific healing based class, if I'm healing a team that doesn't know how to properly play, or if I'm healing someone and they still choose to disengage from a fight or something like that, like if I give them a shield to cast and Cass for some reason isn't feeling confident and she disengages, that shield is useless. The passive healing that I do around teammates when you're just standing next to them, right? Between that and also having a good healing circle, Kulab's healing, I'm not gonna say sometimes it's just not enough, dude. Especially if you're going up against a team that knows what they're doing, and they immediately know to take out his boon circle. Like not his boon circle, but you know, his healing circle basically, and they know how to like immediately take it out so that it's gone. However, the best experience I've had with Kulab is applying damage buffs so that your teammates can do extra damage. And I will stand on that hill and anyone can try to attack me if you want. Dude, when I put down a healing circle that has way too much increased damage, and I see someone either put someone in a cage or Makuta wall pins that person, I immediately throw my boon on them to give them extra curse damage. And then if, depending on the class, if I have the extra shield for my teammate who will also do extra damage because I gave them a shield, dude, their health goes away like completely quick. But like I said, like when you're doing just a Kulab healing based thing, like doing passive healing and healing from a distance, it works. But if the other team is applying way too much damage, your only job is to be a healer. But Kulab can be a healer, a damage dealer, and he could be a melee projectile guy all at the same time. So rather than doing just a heal build, I have preferred to buff the fuck out of my teammates. And I mean, like, especially for, I know I'm going in on Kulab for a second, especially for, I forget the mod, but when I give people a boon, or, you know, tally ho and then you go, right? When I give people a boon, there's a mod where if my teammates are around the person that also gets the boon in that circle, they also do extra damage. And when you combine that, oh my god, dude. I love seeing the synergy that happens when my teammates know and they're aware of what I'm doing for them. But like I said, if I'm just healing them and they're still getting the crap beat out of them, it just goes downhill in my opinion. I wish that Kulab could have some different mod structures for his heal. Don't get me wrong, the duration and increasing the size does matter, but as long as someone is willing to immediately walk up to the very center and smack the center staff in the middle that makes the circle there and make it disappear, they're gonna be aware of that and my circle's just gone. Like, it's just something, it's just me. That's just me personally. Continuing on, we have the Cass poke build. Another DPS that has a lot of strength through her auto attacks. What sets Cass apart from Gizmo is her mobility to escape and change positions like no other. Much like the previous auto attack build, we are running similar mods. Far-Flung increases her basic attack range, and Barb increases its damage. However, this mod offers a risk and reward value. Apex Predator grants extra damage while over 90% health. Taking no damage allows Cass to deal more damage with this build, and the risk is absolutely worth it. I don't play Cass too much, but from the time that I do play Cass, she can be very squishy. But if you play her very well, she can be, if you pair her up with someone who's also a damage dealer, she can be pretty much an annoying ass class of a character. I can tell you that right now. I'm not sure if, I don't know, maybe there's a different mod build that could probably utilize Cass a lot better in terms of her special abilities as well, because I've seen a lot more people use Dive Bomb rather than just using her spinning, I forget the names of attacks, guys, I'm so sorry, rather than using her other art, which is basically spin in a circle and throw her feathers everywhere. I've seen people using Dive Bomb a lot more, so there's just that. Number 2, Buttercup Oil Spill Build. Buttercup, as someone who really likes Buttercup, Buttercup is a character who is easy to pick up, easily shrugs off damage, and specializes in disrupting the enemy team. I will say that, I love doing that. Buffing her Oil Slick allows her to pin enemies down or deny them from the rest of their team. Yeah, her Oil Slick, if I'm correct, can either slow them down or it can decrease their ability, the other team's ability to heal. It can decrease their heal by like, I think 25% or something like that for 3 seconds, I forget. Mods such as Big Spill that increases her oral's radius and sticky substance increases the AoE slow. To help keep backliners pinned, take good range to increase her yank pull. If you need to counter a healer heavy team, you can use Defeat Device, which reduces their healing by 25%. The rest of her abilities are already strong enough, but this build allows her to be one button press crowd control machine. Yeah, but here's the thing. When it comes to her pull range, I've said it before, I love seeing her pull, like I love seeing her scorpion chain someone all the way across the map, but if you could fit something else in there for your team, let's be honest, Buttercup's yank range is already pretty good. Seeing as, how can I say this? Because that yank range increase is the first mod that they give you, that to me tells me that that's more of a newbie thing if you're just getting used to the game, you know? Like, you don't know what her range is necessarily, but if you're a noob, you just increase your range and you yank them from a far distance and you don't have to try that hard. Because that's like the first one that they kind of give you with her character, I would say that giving her good range is probably not the best mod. And that's just in my opinion, because let's be honest, the majority of the time, you will get the range that you need for Buttercup. And if you miss, it's okay, you have another thing to back you up. You either have your Oil Slick, or you have your Crazy Blazes to get people off you a little bit. But the majority of the time, you don't miss your yank unless they're out of range or for some reason they just went around the corner and you just can't track them, you know? But in terms of Buttercup, yeah, honestly, her Oil Slick is definitely where it's at, in my opinion. And finally, at number 1, we have Nidhogger Burning Life Steel build. Nidhogger is an aggressive melee DPS with strong tank shredding and good self-sustain. I will give it to the person. They are aware of what the character can do. Nidhogger can absolutely melt someone's damage over time, especially Mecco. Whenever he strikes an enemy he has lit, he heals himself. This build focuses on improving his sustain with gain, which increases the amount of healing off of burning targets. Fan the Flames increases the burn duration. Feel the Heat increases his fire breath's damage or projected increases its range. Increases his fire breath's damage or projected increases its range. So long as he can keep his targets ablaze, he can stay in the fight for much longer. Alright, now I'd say this person probably doesn't have like, how can I say, compared to most of the guys that play this game alive, this person probably doesn't have like, how can I say, like a flow chart of information in terms of how good Nid is. But based on what I've seen Nid do, sorry, based on what I've seen Nid do, he can absolutely chip the fuck out of someone for damage. Like, it's crazy the amount of chip damage that he can do over time when someone's just on fire and constantly burning. But I'd say overall, what was it? Fan the flames, feel the heat, and I guess projected. I really wish they put the names of the mods in quotes so that I could be able to decipher which one's which, because I don't play Nidhogger that much to be able to justify this. But overall, still, I think that this is a good article, hands down. I don't know who did this. I don't know if they just happened to experience bleeding ads. I don't know if they happened to see my videos and need to see bleeding ads or something. But hands down, this is a good article because, and with over 1,000 people viewing it, this is a good article because I didn't think I'd see an article like this for bleeding ads in general in a while, other than what bleeding ads has failed at. That's the only thing that I've seen people make articles about with this game. But to see an article based on the mod builds, that to me is very special. And I hope whoever wrote this is someone who loves bleeding ads just as much as I do and just wasn't trying to have, like, you know, a story to have if they're working on commission or something like that. But regardless, it's the part when he said, we picked a few builds you should try out the next time you dive into the new ever-growing multiplayer that is backed by Microsoft. I might go and check Microsoft to see if they said anything about bleeding ads. I highly doubt it because, like I said, Ninja Theory would have done something because they're currently working on Project Mara. And man, dude, that is just such a surprise. Like, don't get me wrong, I've done a video on Project Mara as well as Senua's Sacrifice and stuff. But in terms of Ninja Theory, oh man, I wish they had time to bring this game back. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. If I'm smart, I'll do a little bit of editing so that I would show the mods as they show up, so that way you can get a good idea of their descriptions a little bit more, as well as the character themselves. But overall, guys, as always, if you like these videos, I thank you for coming around. If you like bleeding ads, I love you dearly, and I'm glad that you just happened to come into my channel. If for any reason you guys have anything that you would like me to look into, and honestly, it could be a different game. It could be a different game that may have something similar to bleeding ads. Let's be honest, there won't be a game similar to this, but it could be a different game or any type of concept about arena fighters or PvE player type games or anything like that, regardless of what it is. Anyway, for those of you who don't know me, it's totally fine. I'm glad you came around to this video because my name is Chaos the Gamer. Granted, I call myself Chaos44, but you know what it is for the sake of the YouTube algorithm. I'll see you guys around. I hope your week's going good, and yeah. GG's.